All right, okay, let's get a round of names. Yay, 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 yay. What's your name?
Ale.
Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah?
حسن.
What's your name?
اليون
Leon?
اليون
Leon?
Tohid. Tohid.
Tohid?
عبدوس
Abdus?
Husnain. Husnain.
Hussein? Hussein?
نوريز
Nuriez?
كيف
Dave?
كيف
F, yeah? F. Gef, yeah?
كيف
Gaya. Oh, wonderful.
Rehan.
Johan.
Rehan.
Rehan.
شريول
Shaliol. Oh, nice.
Mustafa.
Mustafa.
أزون أزون
Ezan.
أزون أزون
Ezan, yeah? Ezan.
Hamad.
Kamal.
Hamad.
Imad.
Hamad.
Abdul
Abdul.
Tohid.
Tawheed. Come and join us. Come and take a seat. We want to be as warm as possible. As you can see, it was quite windy. And what's your name?
My name's Ikram.
Ikram.
and MASH
Mash. And also Juliet. We got Mikey. We got Paul. Anyone else I missed out?
Amina.
Come a little bit closer. Amina. Yeah. Jennifer. And this is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. What are you guys doing? Whereabouts are you coming from? You're all wearing like different uniform, different clothing. Where like what is this? What's the shirt you're wearing?
Some of us are wearing PE clothes. some
Oh,
of them.
PE clothes. Oh wow, is that what PE kits look like these days?
Yeah.
Fancy. And what school is that?
Marsden Heights.
Hey?
Marsden Heights.
Marsden Heights. Where is that? Is it quite high up? Or?
Bryfield.
Oh, it's in Brightfields. Whereabouts is Brightfields?
Like 10 minutes away from here.
10 minutes. What, do you walk there? Do you cycle? Do you get the bus? How do you get there?
We walk there.
You walk there. Oh, wow. That's quite fun, isn't it? That's quite fun. Do you do much walking around here?
Yeah,
Yeah. Whereabouts do you walk to?
most of the places.
Most places.
Yeah.
What's your favorite place in this area? Nelson. We're in Nelson right now. Eh?
Manchester Road.
What's so good about Manchester Road? What's there? The
food.
food. Oh, what kind of food can I get in Manchester Road?
Takeaway.
Oh, what kind of takeaways?
Burgers, donuts,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
So is that the food of choice? Is that the food of choice? Burgers? Yeah? Anyone else eat anything different, you know?
I don't know.
Right. So Manchester Road, you go there, you get your burgers. You sorted. It's a bit warm here, isn't it now? Gosh, it's amazing what a different spot can do. Right, so we're having burgers and chips tonight for dinner as well. You like cornflake?
No, this lot, crunchy nut generation.
Crunchy nut. Does anyone eat crunchy nut? Does anyone know what crunchy nuts is? Yeah? A cereal. Okay, because I know that they've changed the names to some of these cereals as well, so, you know. Did you have cereal this morning?
No,
No. What did you eat then?
nothing.
No breakfast. My gosh. So you must be hungry. Damn. I guess you only have lunch now at school. Oh, what school dinner's looking like these days? I used to love a bit of hash browns, a little bit of baked beans, a bit of egg flan, you know? Is that what you
No.
What's the choice? Oh, panini.
Pizza, paninis, and pasta and stuff.
Oh, so healthy stuff. Sandwiches. You know, I know Paul was saying last night you met up last night. You were recording something. What say that again?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you said something.
No, I was talking about the food in Nelson is very nice.
Oh, what kind of food do you eat in
So
Nelson?
pizza and
Yeah.
the burgers are very nice here.
Yeah.
They're very big,
Mm.
and that's it basically.
So pizzas and burgers. All right, okay. That's the food of choice. So what about in Brighfield? What kind of food selections
Not
can you
much.
get in Brighfield?
Not
Brighfield?
much. It's a
Am I
very
saying it
small
correctly?
town.
Is it Brighfield or Breefield?
Bryfield.
Brighfield. Okay.
There's not much. It's a small town.
Yeah, I mean, what would you want to make? Somebody came by earlier and he said that he's got this really nice sort of cafe down the road, and they help to sort of feed some sort of homeless people here, some nice curries and stuff. What kind of food would you want to see in Brighfield?
Just more of a selection in it.
More of a selection. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, were you guys talking about dinner last night? I know some of you met up last night to talk about or record something, what were you recording? Was it about foods? You know, what was it about? What dinner you're having? You know, no.
Youth crime.
Youth crime. What about youth crime?
The youth being in danger.
You are the youth in danger in Nelson. In what way?
The gang involved in gangs and drugs.
Okay, so a lot of young people get involved in gangs, drugs. What kind of gangs are in this area?
Knife crime.
So they deal with knife crime.
Yeah.
The gangs.
Yeah.
Gangs at your place, Sammy, the other day. What were you saying about Nelson and Barfield? Not seen eye to eye.
Yeah.
We got a bit of a problem in it.
So there's a beef between Nelson and Bryfield. Yeah. What's the issue between the two areas? What's the main issue? Do you know anything about this? Are you a youth?
No, maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
I did something similar when I was in school.
Yeah.
So I left school in 2013. I'm just here to support Mash from the council because we're both councillors. But yeah, I did do a talk of knife crime when I was in school, and back then I was saying like in 10 years' time Nelson will be in a bad state, and that's what I think. What I said back then has sort of turned into truth, I'd say.
So what were you seeing 10 years ago that made you
I
make
think
that prediction?
I think, you know, personally I'd say it's the music grime culture that's started to take root, and I think that's what's inspiring a lot of the young kids to go down this route. So I think we're seeing that's become mainstream. Back then maybe it was only a few people who were into that sort of stuff. Now it's like maybe a large chunk of the kids that are into that stuff.
So are you saying 10 years ago there was less issues surrounding like youth crime?
Yeah, 100%. Like I think mainly like when I was coming up, we got Ash here. We was at the youth centre, so that's how we came up. And we just a lot of the time. Yeah, don't get me wrong, we weren't good kids. We did used to mess around, you know. But at the end of the day, we never got involved in say the wrong stuff, into violence or wanting to say go down that road. So
right. Okay. Well, so things have changed quite dramatically in 10 years.
I'm just wondering, because I'm from London. We've got gangs and we've got crime there as well. Isn't it just something? Isn't it just like something that you have? Yeah. Isn't it just I can turn you up in a little bit if you want. And this one.
Oh yes. Hello.
Number one.
Hello.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
You can hear me now.
Yeah. Isn't it just something you have? Isn't it just like a thing that exists for young people, and then they get over? Like you, kind of like you're over it now. You were young. We've all been young. Yeah. Some of us are still young. Isn't it just a thing that happened?
What about when you were growing up? Were there issues with knife crime? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a little town called Gravesend.
Anyone heard of Gravesend? Anyone heard of that?
Yeah, there's more stone crime, you know. People throwing stones,
Right.
Stone Age, as in the Stone Age.
Okay, so not much.
Yeah. No, there was a bit of crime. There was violence.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Isn't it just a thing that you have? There wasn't actually that much knife crime, I have to say.
It's part and parcel of growing up.
Yeah, they used to say where I was in Gravesend, because it's like about 20 miles from London, don't come to London because you'll get stabbed. Right. That's what I used to say back then.
So maybe London was the place that was full of all the crime.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, what about music? I mean, you were saying that you feel like the grime music is what's contributing to all of the. Does anyone listen to grime, or is it even called grime these days? What is it called now? Drill.
Rap.
Say that.
Yeah. Rap. Drill. Yeah.
Drill. Yeah. And what did you say before? Another name.
Rap.
Okay, so are people creating drill in this area? Is that what is causing it? People making drill, and
mostly influence on older family members. Yeah. And like the younger ones think that's cool and everything, so they think.
So you're saying like younger family members are being influenced by older family members.
That was involved in bad stuff.
Right. So is it the older family members that are listening to drill music and?
Well, I'm kind of interested in the whole music thing, because when I started working with young people, I did a project in Brayfield. This is probably 20 years ago, and like rap music was massive. So in the youth club, they had, people were like having a go at it. They were doing raps, were like kind of mixing stuff. I think it was like Tupac was like still. I don't know if he still is big, but I don't see music coming through in the same way locally like it used to do, like young people having a go or doing their own stuff, unless it's just all online and I don't see it anymore. But I kind of think it's a mix. I think there's there could be an influence of it in a negative way, but I think there's a way that music can be used to actually get young people's points across or voice across, use that medium to do it. And even like with urban art as well, graffiti, you don't even see as much of that like you used to do, where it was like kind of putting out a message or out there, not just vandalism.
Interesting. So using art to actually share messages. We got a new face at the table. Come and join us. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Chris.
Chris. Welcome. We're talking about knife crime, youth crime. We're talking about music, it having a negative influence on young people. Does anyone know what drill music is? Do you know what drill music is? Drill.
I don't think I could. I've heard of it and I've got a rough idea where I couldn't probably define it as such, but it's music evolves with each generation, whether it's dance, rap, garage, whatever, it all evolves, doesn't it? And has new names, and as Paul said, it's about music and music, culture and arts and music and used to be positive messages and to get the voices of the next generation and stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily blame things on any type of music or any culture. That could say it can be positive messages, negative messages, but I think that's always been the way in in my day. When I was a teenager, people were terrified of punk music because it was
what music?
Punk.
Oh, punk music.
Yeah. So, I think every generation should be kicking back. Should be different views from the older generations, from their parents.
Okay. So you're saying actually maybe the drill music is just a reflection of the issues with young people today. And in fact, when you were young, punk music, I mean, we've got quite a lot of different genres being flown around the table. We've got drill, we've got punk, we've got rap. Can anyone define what drill music is? Can anyone actually define what it is? Articulate. What is punk music anyway?
I don't know, but like down in London, because I was trying to do this thing with young people in my area and saying like they're just kids, they're fine, they're not aggressive, and then I said, right, you guys, you're going to do the music, and they did all this music, and the lyrics to the music, it was drill music, and a lot of it I'm not going to repeat here in public because there was a lot of swear words. It was mostly like, I'm gonna you up, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna murder you, I'm gonna take your money, I'm gonna take over your drugs trade. But I think it was like, in a way, sort of actually almost like fantasizing about what a bad guy that I could be. But it didn't have the effect that I was hoping that all the people go, oh, these young kids are not so bad. But in the end, it did the opposite. Everyone was like scared because they were playing this ultra aggressive music.
So you're saying like the music is more of a fantasy of what they feel it is to be like an adult. And
and to what it means to really be a man,
Right. That's an interesting question. I mean, what does it mean to be a man anyway? Like, what, how old is everyone around the table? How old are you?
14.
14. How old are you?
13.
13.
14.
14.
13.
13.
30.
30. 30.
17.
Oh, 17.
18.
18.
47.
Way. Woohoo.
14.
14.
25.
25.
14.
Too old, I can't count.
14.
14. Anyone I missed out?
13.
13.
14.
14.
I'm 13.
13. All right. 13, 14, 47, 30. All right. So oh my God, what is that? So what does it mean to be a man anyway? Like, is that too much of a wide and broad discussion? And what do you think? What do you think? Do you think drill music is just people sort of fantasizing about what they feel it is to be masculine and to be a man? Does that make sense to you? Yeah? You're nodding your head?
I think it's all about bragging rights.
Right, so it's more about bragging rights, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, what about anyone else? Do people agree? Do people feel that it's actually a reflection of what's happening in Briarfield? Is drill music a reflection of what's happening in Briarfields? Like, is it actually reflecting what's actually happening here? Not really.
It's not that bad, I'd say.
It's not that bad. Is it not that bad in Briarfield? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Oh, okay. So
it's like the they're not that bad, but like that's what they idolize, like they look up to, because the people that with all the money and stuff.
Right. So you're saying that although like the people that make that music, they're not actually as threatening as it may seem. Yeah.
Yeah, they just think they're about that life, but they're not.
They think they're about that life, but they're not. I mean, what do you think? Do you know anyone that makes drill music, or do you know any?
Don't know no one. To be honest, I'm quite surprised with what I've heard around the table.
Yeah.
I've not heard of any knife crimes in this area, and I deal with a lot of youth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just in the minds. I think you might have one isolated incident, and it's made out that all the young people are involved in that.
Right.
I guarantee nobody here would ever have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh God, so well loud. So for me personally, I don't think knife crime is an issue here. Yes, the music will reflect it. It always has done.
Yeah.
Guns, knives, always been involved with drugs, etc. The music, but I look around this table. I don't think any of these lot will be involved, and I certainly don't know any young person that has been involved with knife crimes.
So I mean, what are the issues affecting young people in this area?
Well, I've got a community member who's not willing to come on and get recorded or have his. But one of the concerns he's saying is that he feels drugs is the main thing that drives everything else.
Ah, okay.
And that in this area, I mean, he lives around the same area. He's worked in the area. He's been travelling. He's done everything. So he's quite an experienced community member who's lived life. And really, his concern that unless drugs are not controlled and we don't get out of that issue, then that is the one that drives all the agenda for everything else. And as far as goes with young people, for them drugs is not the problem. The drugs is not a problem for a young person. Drugs is a problem for the community and for people who are not users, the families of the users and the police and all that kind of stuff. So really that was his concern.
Okay, so actually stop the music is drug. But what about I want to hear from the young people around the table, or the teenagers, the 13 and 14-year-olds. A lot of people are saying, all you're doing is listen to drill music, you're carrying a knife, you're addicted to drugs, or you're gonna be. I mean, what are your thoughts? What issues are affecting you? Like, you woke up this morning, I know you didn't have breakfast, but what issues are affecting you other than probably not eating breakfast, being hungry maybe? Like,
I think a lot of things come into the section, and like games and movies, etc. It's not just music in general.
Yeah. So you're saying actually there's a lot of things that influence. Is it youth crime?
Yes, youth crime.
But are there any other issues that are affecting maybe young people? Any worries that you have? Are you worried about exams? Because is it Icky?
Yes.
Icky was saying that actually one of the biggest issues is actually he works with young people, but he doesn't really know any young people that are involved with knife crime. Maybe there might be one. So is it more of a perception of young people?
Just like a idea that's been created.
Yeah, and I mean, if you were to sort of create your own idea, or if you were to create like your own newspaper or your own, I don't know, YouTube channel, what would be what's the real voice of young people? What are young people really about in this area?
That's a tough question.
Ooh, okay, I'll give you some time to think about it. Did you grow up in this area? I know you're 30. Did you grow up in this area?
No, I'm from Croydon in South London, and I grew up a fair bit in Devon, so I'm not really from here at all.
I mean, okay, so what's your perception of young people in this area? Do you see many teenagers about? Have you heard of it, like these issues affecting young people?
So I don't really know much about young people in this area. I'm just here briefly, but I've been working with a really nice group at Marsden Heights, helping them design a peace banner, and that's kind of my only encounter with young people in this area thus far.
So you're working with young people to design a peace banner, did you say?
Peace banner.
A peace
for
banner.
the Festival of Culture Peace Walk.
Oh right, and what tell us a bit more about this peace banner, and why do you need to create a peace banner?
Well, It's for a specific peace walk that happens here in Nelson, and it's been happening for a few years. It started after, I believe, and Paul can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but it started after the bombing of Manchester Arena, and was a way to bring the different communities in the area together around shared concerns and wanting to, I suppose, speak about peace, diversity, community cohesion, that kind of thing.
Right. So it all stemmed from the bombing in Manchester Arena. Does everyone know about the bombing in Manchester Arena? Is that something that you were kind of really, you were affected by? You know? Does anyone know about that, the bomb that happened in Manchester Arena? I think it was with Ariana Grande, I believe, at one of her concerts. I don't know if there's any fans of Ariana Grande around the table, or maybe former fans, yeah?
Was it the one where they said there was a Taliban?
Is it the one where they said it was done by the Taliban?
Yeah, like...
Does anyone know the details about this?
No, I'm sure there was a man and he had a bomb on him, and then he blew up 1,000 of kids and everything. In the sort of
arena. Okay, and then now a couple of years later, people are coming together to kind of create this peace walk to sort of bring all different communities together. Okay.
I was just going to say, I went to see the Manchester Museum. They collected all the tributes, all the flowers, the teddy bears to an art, all the messages, because they didn't want to throw them away. There was thousands after and obviously it's quite moving to see all those tributes collected and respond. You know, and that is a really moving thing to see in the how they stored, how they had to preserve all those messages of hope and peace and tribute to those people who suffered in that tragedy. But one thing I was going to say, obviously, I think there is a pressure for young people to get flashy cars, get money, because, you know, it's, and especially, and maybe they see drugs as an easy one. But I think there's a tendency in society to blame drugs and crime just on young people, and it's not generally just young people. I was with some fellow people around the table with MASH the other day in the town centre, and there was a big fight with and people had been taking drugs, all kinds of drugs. I would say not one of them was under 30. I'm going to say it's I get quite annoyed when it's young people that are blamed for all society. You can't. It's not all young people that are the issues. People can be stupid no matter what age they are.
No matter what age. Okay, so you're saying that maybe people are placing blame for society's issues onto young people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm following up on that as well. I think because I've lived here all my life and I've done lots of work with young people, and I think also as a community, or if you want to talk about the council or whatever, I think now there's less opportunity for engaging young people in places than years ago. You know, in Pendle alone, pretty much all of the youth centres have all shut down. There isn't one in Briarfield anymore. There's one in Nelson, but it's only open at certain points for certain groups. But those places where young people can just go and hang out, like I don't know, the councillor, you might have gone to one with MASH at Briarfield. They don't exist. So if those places don't exist and you've only got school and you've got less and less of people like, I mean, even Mash and Ashy and all them, you know, none of us are getting any younger. You know, it's those places that can just have that conversation with young people that, I mean, Marsden, you are really lucky you've got a team like Mash and Jenny at your school. Not all the schools have that either. So I think there's a responsibility for what we can make sure we offer as well. But it's also kind of harder to understand or know what young people even want to do today. Like I said, it used to be really, in a youth club, it used to be quite clear. It's like you could put some decks in a corner and they'd have a go at like mixing and all that. You could do a mosaic or a mural or do some graffiti. You know, now it's like, I mean, some of the digital stuff comes in, but even at that, it's like, you know, what do young people kind of want to do? If we can create the spaces together with young people, what would we want to do in Nelson?
Yeah, I think, you know what, I think that's a really interesting point you've raised, because doing all these Talkaokes across the UK, you know, that same conversation comes up about youth centres being closed down, you know. And as well, what do young people want to do? Do you feel as like young people that you have your voice is being heard? Do you feel like there's spaces for you to actually demand what you want, you know? It kind of feels that maybe it's adults always saying, this is who you are, this is what you want to do, but like, what do you want to do? Like, you know, what do you do at the weekends? You know, if you could create a community centre, where would it be? What would it look like? What would you be doing there, you know?
I'm not too sure.
Not too sure. What do you like to do? What do you do at the weekends or when you get home? Do you still play Fortnite? Is that a thing still?
No. No.
Yeah, no. I know I asked you a question earlier about...
No, I was just going to say, you know, I think it is mostly, you know, it's like the ideas really are coming from the older people, and they're obviously... I think we'd be used to. I've been talking on this mic for 25 years, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I think rather than say, like, oh, it's got to be a youth club, it could be anything. You know, it's like it's almost like I think the question is if you're in control of a big budget and you could spend it on anything, what would you spend the money on? What would you do? Say you had like £1 million to spend in Nelson. What would you spend that money on?
You know, it's really interesting what you were saying. Remind me of your name again?
Husnain.
Uzrain, yeah?
Husnain.
Uznen. What you were saying earlier actually about, you know, the fact that in drill music, people are just kind of fantasizing, or maybe it was Mikey, fantasizing about what they would want to do when they are maybe older. So I'm wondering, like, now, if you were given the money, if you were given like £1 million budget, what would you do with it? If you had the freedom to just... spend it on whatever you wanted to spend it on, you know, what would you do? Let's go around actually. Say that again.
I can see a few BMWs being purchased.
Okay, a couple of BMWs.
Am I right, boys? Yeah, look, heads are nodding, yeah, we'll have BMWs.
Okay, so
but if you had £1 million, how would you change your town or your school or your neighbourhood? What would you put in it, what would you take out?
Yeah.
Once you've had the, you need a nice
the BMW,
roads, we have potholes. Because BMW suspensions are no good, do they?
Okay, so that's a bit of information.
Safety, lights, what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do to, like, change your area? Let's go around, let's find out from everyone. What would you change or take away? Or adds, or create, or build?
You were saying you bring some good-looking people into town over there, didn't you, in Bradfield?
Good-looking
that's what he was saying at school,
Okay. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Interesting point. We got a new face in here. What's your name in the background? Farhan. What would you do? You know, it doesn't matter if you're a young person or not. If you had £1 million budget to create change. Oh, let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. Let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. Oh, here we go.
I was just going to say to the young people around, just no idea is a bad idea. You know, just don't be afraid of saying what you think.
When you were younger, like, did you have that confidence to sort of say what you think?
No, I didn't.
How did you build that confidence then? Like, what happened?
God knows. But I wouldn't even go to a youth club.
You wouldn't go to?
No, I wouldn't go to a youth club when I was young.
Available then.
Yeah. So I was scared. But I think music got. I suppose music helped me because I found some friends who liked the same kind of music. Yeah. And then when we were old enough, we started going to see live bands and stuff, and you know. Yeah. So I think it's finding an interest and finding people who are on the same wavelength of you, and that starts building. That's where I found everyone's different, aren't they? But so that's where I found finding people who had the similar interests.
Finding people on the same wavelength. Yeah. Okay, and I think, like you were saying, Paul, are there enough spaces to do that? But thank you for joining us. We're going to be at the Festival of Making tomorrow, so definitely come down and join us. So
Han's got a couple of ideas.
Let's continue the question.
I would change the town of giving free Wi-Fi to the poor families.
So giving free Wi-Fi to poor families. Yeah. Okay, all right. Giving free Wi-Fi. Yeah, let's do a quick fire and like go around and ask everyone. What would you do if you had $1 million?
It would be ideal to add some more buildings where people could chill out during the weekends.
So maybe some more buildings. All right. What about yourself?
I'm not too sure.
Not too sure. All right. We'll come back to you. I know you're not from this area,
but well, for me, I think there are two things. Just a general general places that people can access for free without the expectation that they're going to be spending money. And then when I was growing up, I grew up in a place where there wasn't much going on. It was a pretty small village, but a skate park got built, and it was a small skate park. It wasn't very good, but it really did change my life and a lot of other people's lives to really get into skateboarding and have that kind of community and have this thing to do with our time. And who knows what we'd have gotten up to with kind of nothing to do. But yeah, having a skate park.
So maybe
and
that would, if you didn't have
important.
that skate park, if you didn't find people in the same wavelength, maybe you would have ended up in some kind of youth criminal activity. You know, I know you are an adult here, but look, if you had £1 million budget, how would you change this area?
I mean, I think for me, I love music. I love creative stuff that brings people together to kind of experiences. But I'm constantly, because I mean, Ashley's mentioned BMWs. You know, we know that in this area people love the fast cars, the smart cars, all that sort of stuff. But they're flying around, which is another issue for people locally. But I always think, well, okay, if there's an interest in cars, what can we do around that? I mean, maybe we need to do something that we could take young people to a racetrack, and so they've got somewhere to do it like that. Or maybe we could build a car, or maybe we could design. You know what I mean? So go with what people are interested in. So there's kind of like a way, and then you could talk about the safety, but when you can do it appropriately, because I like driving cars fast, but I'm not going to do it in the middle of the town centre. So it's like, how do you create the space to do it? Go-kart, I don't know.
Because I know Ash said that there's a lot of potholes, so that might have an impact on the BMWs, but do people know how to fix cars? Maybe there needs to be a garage where people can maybe fix their cars when they get damaged. I don't know, would you be interested in learning how to fix a car? Yeah, you would. If you had £1 million, how would you change the area? How would
you said he would do bad things, so I want to hold
all right, we're going to come to you. We're just doing a quick fire round.
Build a huge welfare place for all the homeless people that need food.
Oh, right. Okay, so that means who was the person? Oh, you've got a place where people can, a cafe where people can, eat foods who are homeless. All right, well, maybe you might want to talk to him and volunteer there. What would you do? I know you're a counsellor. What would you do? How would you develop us?
Firstly, I would put some more money back into the youth centres, because we spent a lot of time in there in the youth. And secondly, this is what we're doing at the council now, is putting a lot of money towards sporting activities, free football coaching sessions and etc. Because I think with kids, especially when we were coming up, there's a lot of energy you want to burn. It's either you can burn in the right way or the wrong way. So if there's sporting activities, football, cricket, wherever, then I think kids are doing it in the right way. And also it teaches kids discipline, because I do coaching myself. It's like the kids that I coach, first week the naughtiest kids, at the end of the session, say 10 weeks later, they're the best kids. So it's all about discipline.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's a bit like what you were saying about how the skate park kind of gave you a bit of focus and direction. What would you do?
Fix the potholes.
The roads. Close to the mic?
Fix the roads.
So you'd actually fix the roads?
Yeah.
I mean, do you need to learn how to fix the roads? Maybe that's what young people need to learn how to do. Some young people learn to fix the roads. That's interesting.
I would help the poor of Bryfield and Nelson.
Help the poor of Bryfield and Nelson?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the second person. Yeah, how would you do that?
I would give money out to it. So if I walk across the street and see people, I'll just give money, and then I'll build a youth centre as well, for where young kids can go and see how careers are like, and see if they can find the true potential in that.
Right, so you're saying youth centres, you're saying maybe you can give support, financially support some of the homeless people.
And I could put on an advertisement if I can. If you're poor, you don't need to worry, you can come to this place and we'll look after you.
Right, so kind of like a welfare centre. All right. There's some interesting ideas. I know you got bare ideas, so come on, what's some of them?
I don't really think £1 million is a lot of cash for a small percentage.
How much? A bit close to the mic.
£1 million won't be enough cash for an area like.
So you've thought about
million,
this?
Yeah. It won't be enough cash, but if you could do anything, renovating buildings, making stuff more modernised, getting more better shops in the centres.
Yeah. What kind of shops would you want to see in the city centre? Repair shop, mechanics, welfare. What kind of shops?
It's hard to think, but clothing shops, branded shops, like one of the shops that you see in London, which aren't here. some of the more modernized shops.
What kind of shops do you see in London that are not here?
We got a lot of clothing shops, branded shops, you know. Most of the designer shops.
What would you do for young people?
Do young people need to work? Would you want to work in one?
Yeah, exactly, and it'll provide more workspace for people to work.
So basically, opportunities for work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting what you were saying about maybe develop some of the buildings that's already here. What kind of buildings do you think need a bit of sprucing up? You know.
There was a cinema down there.
Oh right.
That's been shut for quite a while now.
Okay.
They could reopen that.
Yeah.
The library, they need to, you know.
This one.
Yeah. Especially, they need to add more types of things there, like.
What kind of things would you want to see in the library?
Like more like tablet computers or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I
like for reading, online reading, and more mechanical tech things.
All right, so maybe some tablets, get that in the library. I did notice there's a lot of like desktop sort of computers there. Quite busy though, quite busy in that library. But you're saying maybe it could do a little bit of modernization.
Yeah.
Does anyone go to use the library here? Does anyone actually use the library there? All right, we'll come back to that question. We're still doing our... What would you do to develop this area?
Okay,
a few ideas.
An arcade or a game centre.
An arcade game centre. All right, okay.
If I had £1 million, I'd make more entertainment places, like more parks.
Right.
More food places. Well, you got loads, but like a basketball court.
Basketball court.
Football pitch.
Okay, football pitch. Did we hear from you already?
No, it's like maybe you'd make like more youth centers or improve them for like young people with some of their interests, like footballs or cars or sports, because once you like find something that you're interested in, you'll become like invested in it, and that's why like rap's so influential, because once you see like people with money and stuff, you want to be like them.
Right, okay, so you're saying people are seeing the footballers and that could be a nice money-making career. What's your interest? What do you want to do? Be
footballer.
So you want to be a footballer? All right, okay.
Who do you want to play for?
Yeah, that's a good question. Bryfield Football Club. You know, Nelson Football Club.
No.
Oh, there's a football club right here. All right. Yeah.
Any.
If I had £1 million, I'd build an indoor sports centre. So the youth could play basketball, football, cricket, etc.
Do you like basketball?
Yeah.
All right, so you'd be using it, yeah?
Isn't there already an indoor sports centre? There's a leisure box, and they spent $5 million on it.
Right.
But I'm liking the car idea, because what I'm seeing is like a sort of parade of like the flashiest cars. Like you could get them in for a day, and almost like the Peace Walk. It could also be like a peace cruise with some fancy cars, people cruising down. Obviously, you can't go fast around the town centre, but there could be an element of a kind of car show, just to get people interested in all different cars. You could have vintage cars, maybe get like a what's that called? That Bugatti one. What's it called?
Fancy.
Bayron. That's it. Yeah, something like that, and it'll just inspire people. You know, and also. I'm liking the car stuff, but it does take work. But you know, it's actually quite a lot of fun working on cars. I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, look. Did I miss that? Does anyone else want to share like what they would do? What would you do if you had £1 million to change or develop something that's already here? What would you do?
Bring some more like places where you can do like more activities and stuff.
What kind of activities would you want to see?
Like, I don't know, like football, stuff like that.
All right, so we have like a lot of football, a lot of sports. How about yourself in the back there? Do we hear from you? I don't think so.
I'd build homeless shelters.
All right, okay. So it seems that. Oh, let's get a final thought from you before you leave us. Final thought.
I was just going to say, in regards to the Manchester bombings we talked about early, I was in my second. I was going into my final year at university, and growing up, you'd obviously, as this kid mentioned, you read about Taliban, Al Qaeda, a lot of the stuff that's happening, bombings in Syria, etc. But you never felt it because it was never close to home. Whereas when it happened, it's even in London, but when it happened in Manchester, I remember that week. Like I used to regularly, obviously, when I was living at university, go through the city centre. And that week I was at home, so I was thinking that could have actually been me there.
Oh, really?
So I did hit home. And in regards to Nelson, I won't say knife crime is up and coming, and of course it is an issue. But I say the biggest issue is hard drugs. Like when I was growing up, you had a lot of cannabis. That's the little corner boy you saw. That's what he was on. Now I guess it's hard drugs like smack, crack. So it's quite a scary place now to be living in. But at the same time, say a lot of the kids are coming up here, I'd say I could resonate a lot with the kids because in school, you know, you got guys who come in, you know, who can't really level up with you guys. But I think with myself, like how I was in school, I used to mess around and stuff. And the kids that I coach as well, I say, look, have fun, enjoy yourself. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to go be nerds. Have fun, but at the same time, make a career out of yourself. You know, make sure you do your work, and then after that, you can go have your fun. So I was in the same boat. It was like, what do I want to do? Mess around, you know, go work in a dead end job, or go to university. You know, go work at an IT company in a senior role. So I think it's about what you want to do in your life.
So you're saying have fun, but also just get the studies 100%. Done. So you know you can have a future.
I think if you talk to young people and say what are your hobbies and interests, they seem to come to a stop. A lot of them don't even know what hobbies and interests are.
But I'm wondering, do people call hobbies and interests anymore? Is it the words? I don't know. It sounds a bit old school. Hobbies and interests just sounds a bit old school.
It does.
I don't know. What?
I know a lot of people now at school say, "Oh, I'm into gaming." Which is the modern thing. But when you try to get them out there and do something in their community, they seem to freeze somewhat. And I think I agree with what Chris said. He said, if you've got somewhere where kids can go, and I think Naresh said it. I think you said when you open something and you show people something, and then they can achieve their potential because they might never have done that before. But once they've done it, they think I really like doing this, and it's having enough things for young people to try and see what it's like. I mean, I went to a local town a couple of weeks ago, took a group, and they've got an absolute fantastic skate park and a bike park.
Where is that?
In Clitheroe.
Okay.
And really well used, but it's absolutely massive. But if we had something like that, then we could have kids from this area going and trying it and saying, is it for me or is it not?
So you're saying like, basically the issue, some people around the table, they actually need to go and try things out before do you have a point? And try things out, and then they can realize, oh, actually I actually like this. You know, I know that you were nodding your head when the counsellor there was talking. Did something resonate with you from what he said? You were like sort of agreeing with what he was saying there.
Yeah.
What is it that he said that resonated with you, or that you thought, all right, what he's saying is true, you know?
Because we need some more sports and facilities around in Nelson.
Yeah, so that's what you want to do. All right.
I'm just wondering about the game thing, because obviously everyone's got stuck in for 2 years with COVID, and then they've gone more digital. And I've got my digital sound effects and the horse. But you know, maybe you could go with that and actually create a digital gaming centre. Do you know what I mean? Something, and also you could include a bit of programming and a bit of like, you know, actually getting young people designing their own games rather than just playing the games. And it could be really creative, I think. But I don't know what people think about that. Would that be something that people would be interested in? Like a gaming centre with all the fastest graphics cards and whatever? I don't know.
You know, I want to summarise what we've been talking about so far. We started talking about youth crime, knife crime. Then we started talking about, you know, what you would do if you had £1 million. We heard that some people would make like welfare centres, homeless, provide opportunities for homeless people. Some people would maybe buy some BMWs, but then also perhaps some people might want to have a place to sort of fix them. We've heard that some people would want to create skate parks, football areas, basketball pitches. I mean, where do we want to go with this conversation? What do you think about what Mikey was saying? Are you guys like at home playing games mostly? Would you want to learn how to create games? Would you want to learn how to design games? Is there anywhere to actually learn how to design games in this area? You know, what about in the library? Is there books on how to design games in the library? You know, I'd be interested. Maybe we could get them out. I don't know.
There is, I know, the college. As part of some of the money that's coming to Nelson, the college are creating what they're describing as like a digital hub, and some of that will be in Nelson. And the idea is that's not just if you're a student at college. Other people can have a go at it with like virtual reality stuff, you know. So there is an opportunity coming for, you know, for young people to have a go about it. I mean, I just wondered if you could turn Nelson into a game, what would that look like as well? You know, how you know, could we turn what would Nelson look like in a virtual reality? Do you know what I mean? Or so you can turn it into what you wanted it to be.
Yeah. In fact, actually, last year we were doing this Talkaoke with some young people in East London in VR. So we were meeting up online in VR. You know, that was fun. Maybe that could be something. I saw you were nodding your head at the back there about what would Nelson look like if it were a game. Come and get involved with the conversation. It sounds like you've actually thought about maybe Nelson as a game. You know.
Yeah. Come on, have you say.
But I mean, would part of the game be trying to park your car without paying it, and then you have to not get a ticket, and then driving trying to avoid the police? Would that be the game, or would it be more about climbing up the ladder of success? Would it be a bit of both? Would it be like Grand Theft Auto, Nelson?
Well, I can see you're smiling. You got any thoughts? What would a game look like on Nelson?
Just a lot of people speeding about.
So speed. What games are you playing right now?
FIFA, really.
FIFA?
Yeah.
Okay, so football.
Yeah.
So you know what? Who are you playing with? Are you playing with like real people or?
Play with real people. I play with some of these.
Oh, so you're playing with some people.
Who's the best?
Yeah, who's the
Probably
best?
Nerez.
Nerez, yeah. Yeah.
This one.
Oh, so you're saying this? But what do you think about what Mikey was saying earlier about the fact that is it true that young people, all teenagers want to do right now is just do gaming, and is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing to just want to be at home playing games?
A little complaint. This is the very male perspective that we've grasped on. We've not had much input from women around here, so I think you've got perfect opportunity.
Yes.
Because everything's masculine, isn't it? It's through the eyes of men.
Yeah.
And we want to get it. It's like the whole, whole of Nelson, young, old, black, white, male, female.
I mean, are you into gaming? Are you playing FIFA?
I've never gamed. Ever. I remember I went to my cousin's one in Birmingham and I played a game, but if I could change Nelson in any way, this is very student perspective because I'm doing my A-levels right now.
Yeah.
But I'd want in the parks are beautiful and I'd want more picnic benches in the park so I could sit on the benches and do my work, or an area that's not so much like the library but like a cafe with a study space or something like that, where because I know so many people don't have quiet study spaces at home. It's quite disruptive, they don't have the areas. And I know personally I don't, so I try and get out. And it'd be amazing if we had that, because I feel like if you had a place you'd go with your friends to revise, and then there was an area after like gaming or an arcade or whatever, and you go there after, then that would encourage them to go study more and then go have a day after.
This is a really interesting point, how maybe a lot of young people in the area, they don't have spaces at home where they can study, so actually having a public study space could be quite good. I wonder if in the library maybe there could be more
the library was, but
spaces.
Because of COVID upstairs closed, so there's no desks to do work now.
Oh my gosh,
or anything.
Fly in my eye.
So
sorry, just got a little fly in my eye.
Have it just women's safe spaces to do what they want to do.
That would be and especially for mums of the community, our mums that are first generation mums, and they've come over and they don't quite get out because all they know is to stay at home and work and cook. They don't there's a mums to mums group that MASH runs, and that's amazing, and there should be more stuff like that for people to get out.
What do you mean first generation?
People have come over from immigrants, and I know my pet, I'm the first in my family to go to university. I still my nuclear family. And I want to see my mum going out more and doing more activities, and she is, but I'd love to see more opportunities for so many other women out there that don't have the confidence to go and do stuff.
So basically it seems to me that there's just a lack of space for socializing and community spaces in general for all different groups, young people, new immigrants that have come over, people who want to study. There's just not enough spaces. I mean, wow, gosh, I mean, very insightful there. I mean, where do we want to go with this conversation? I mean, can you study at home? Do you study? Where do you study? What? Wow, what does a safe space look like? So many questions being raised right now.
I know I'm sort of dragging it back to the computer games, but I'm just wondering if you could gamify make it more fun, because my problem always with studying, it was a little bit, boring. So could you turn it more into a computer game or more into something more fun?
Right. Oh yeah, no, I'm okay. No, it's got a fly. I decided to fly in my eye.
Yeah.
I think that's his leg that just came out. Okay.
I'm just wondering about that. Could you make actually studying more fun, or is it just me that finds it boring?
Who else finds studying? Online. Did you study online?
So there's like. So there's websites such as Sparks and Seneca that like online trying to make it interesting, and more of them would be like good.
So you're saying maybe more opportunities to study online would be a bit more interesting. But what about, what was your name again, by the way?
Amina.
Amina.
Yeah.
Amina. You know, what do you think about what Amina was saying about, maybe like opportunities to study with friends? Like, do you want spaces where you can study with your friends, or do you study with your friends like in between playing FIFA online? Is there opportunities to study then? I don't know. Where do you want to take the conversation? But yeah, I know that.
Sorry, I don't want to just dominate this, but remember the pizza thing yesterday?
Yeah.
Where like we worked out that an 18-inch pizza was more than 2 times the size of a 12-inch pizza.
Yeah.
And that's like maths in action.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maths in action.
Maths in action. So if you could learn math through pizzas, that would be a much better way of learning maths.
Yeah.
And I think everything's like that.
Yeah.
Even like FIFA, with FIFA, you could learn so much about physics, about angles, about psychology, about economics. I've got a sound effect for that. So you could learn through all these more fun ways of learning stuff.
Learn through FIFA, learn programming.
Yeah, exactly. Through FIFA or through pizza, either way.
Through FIFA or through pizza.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna have a change of hosts right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump in the middle.
Yeah, basically, Mike is gonna jump in the middle. So, hold tight. I know you got a thought.
Okay, well, you're on the sound effects, so we need applause and we need.
Yeah. Oh, are you on the sound effects?
Yeah, so we need. Let's have a. I'm just going to grab your one because I can't be bothered to change the. Yeah.
Post-COVID.
This is okay. That's normally the sound effect we use for.
Right. I need to come out.
First because
okay,
we've got to keep this hot. Excuse me.
All right. Okay. Conversation.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
We're going to keep this hot. We're going to thank you, Ellen, and a great job there. I mean, where do we want to take this conversation? I'm just lowering down. Maybe I'll just have a quick refresh on the names. So many people here. I don't think I'm going to get everyone. Like, what is this young gentleman's name over here?
Well, I'm Mash, and we're honoured, me and Ashe, to have somebody who was a personal role model for us, and we're in this career and do these kind of things because of a guy who's just landed here. He was just walking through the centre, so we've done. So this young gentleman here is one of the reasons that we do what we do.
Really?
So So he influences us.
Yeah.
He really influenced us through his personality, he's infectious in a lot of ways, and he got us involved. So I'm gonna pass it over to him.
Okay. Well, no one's wearing a mask, so hopefully you're not too infectious. Tell us your name and tell us. Are you agreeing with what Mash is saying? Are you the person that influenced this whole town?
I'm not so sure about that, but anyway, my name is Sajjad, but I've been popularly known as Saj.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of people like Ash and Mash because they've done amazingly well with their careers, and it's talking about personalities and their role models. For me, really, I mean, I look at these kids and you're trying to inspire them and motivate them in terms of what they can achieve and so forth. What I like to say to them is that their opportunities are far greater than ours ever were. I mean, I was a 10-year-old immigrant who came to this country, and it was a very hostile environment for us. You know, the names that we got called, and we used to get chased down the streets and so forth. And we looked very forward to very much when we could go back to our country, which was all vivid colours. Here it was all black and white. The chimney smoke was black. The buildings were black. You know, everything was black and white and miserable. The snow was cold. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on that because I've been here over 50 years now. And whilst we absolutely hated this country and we hated being here and we hated the English cricket team and the football team because of the abuse we got, because we were made to feel like outsiders. But I've over the period come to love this country because it's given me and my family and my friends so much. We were able to get a good education. I was one of the first to get to a university. I almost became the first ever Pakistani Muslim professional footballer. That was my dream. I played semi-professional football. So didn't quite make it. I won lots of awards. I was the first to win a Churchill travelling fellowship. So anyway, I became a lecturer at the college that I was a student at. Then I went to Lancaster, and I could go on and on and on. I just wanted to say the opportunities are there, guys. All you have to do is just work hard. For you, you've got role models, you've got people like Ash and Mash, and there's others, your tutors, you know, there's all these equality and diversity kind of issues in place for you. They weren't for us. So basically, all we had to do was just carry on.
What you're saying is like racism back then was a lot worse than it is now, and people, and how did that affect?
In some ways, it's still here, and it's different. Racism in those days was very open as well as hidden. Now, obviously, the laws prevent people from expressing it openly, but there are still a lot of barriers there.
But they're kind of hidden barriers.
They are hidden barriers, but the opportunities are far greater here. You know, you can take advantage of those facilities that are available to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Saj, and that's really great to hear.
Can I go and get my dinner now?
No, because we've got to... No, you've got to stay. Well, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but I want to see if these young people have got any questions for you, or do you agree with what Saj is saying? Do you think have things got better? Is there more opportunity?
There's no more No. What country did he come from?
Okay, what country did he come from?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay. Any more questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. Do you agree with this thing that there's more opportunity now?
Yeah, there's more opportunities than before.
Yeah? And what kind of opportunities are there?
There's more facilities and...
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Alright, and what about the racism question? Has racism changed? Is it still there but hidden?
Well, Nelson is a pretty much Asian town, so there isn't much against us.
Yeah.
But obviously it's still a problem.
Yeah. And what about this idea of like the hidden barriers? Do you agree with that? That there's some things that are there but not there?
Yeah. Not like physically or verbally said, but it's still there.
Under the ground,
as you grow up in a family that's maybe racist or somewhere, you're gonna have ideas about people. You might not go up to them and be racist to them physically, but you still have that idea.
So you're kind of harbouring this kind of like racist sort of setup of how the world works. You're nodding with that as well, Mash. You're agreeing with that. Where do we want to go with this conversation? You want to talk about racism? You want to talk about opportunities? Okay, yeah.
So, sorry fogging this, guys. I have to go, but I need to make a few very quick points. Firstly, just to pick up on what you guys were discussing about FIFA and so forth, and I totally endorse that. You can learn so much from these computer games. I used to tell my son off as well. He said, look, you're not studying and you're just playing FIFA all the time. Until one day I saw what he was actually doing, and then he says, I've just sacked my physio because too many of my players are injured. Right? So this is like a 12-year-old kid, and then I saw him developing a poster because he'd won the championship, and this was a letter that he was writing to one of the newspapers. This is all part of the FIFA. I thought this is fantastic. So you can learn a lot.
So there is a lot actually to learn from FIFA.
The other thing I wanted to say, which I've totally forgotten now.
Yeah.
But
we're talking about opportunity. We're talking about hidden racism. We're talking about this town.
Yeah.
We're talking about where these young people want to go. We're talking about learning. Is there any? Is that
But yeah, so for these guys, the message I want to give to them is look. Oh, this is. I remember what I want to say was. Somebody said, it's very simple, guys, make a note of this. The secret of success is hard work. That is why it's a secret to so many. So if you want to know the 3 best things, if you want to be successful in anything in life, number 1 is hard work.
Yeah.
Number 2 is hard work. And number 3 is hard work. I'll leave you on that. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay.
What about if we? I mean, I'm just already thinking. What about if you don't want to do the hard work? Is that it? Is there no other secrets? Work smarter, not harder. I had someone say over there. Yeah.
You can cheat.
You can cheat. What do people think about that? Can you cheat? Do you have to work hard? Are there shortcuts?
You can bully someone until they give you the answers.
Bully someone until they give you the answers. Okay. So there is a. I mean, what do people think? Do they agree with Saj about this point? Hard work, hard work, hard work. You're agreeing.
It's hard work. We also have to work clever, not do stuff.
So it's not just about working hard. It's not just about digging holes, but actually doing something a bit more than that. What do people think about this? Is this the route to success? Hard work, hard work, hard work. What about, can you do things in a clever way? Can you cheat? Is that the way to do it? And how can you cheat? What are the best ways of cheating? Maybe we can learn, yeah?
Looking at the other guy's paper.
Looking at the other guy's paper. But, I mean, does that going to help you, say, when you're running a business or something like that? Can you carry on that sort of sense of cheating?
Yeah.
If you cheat, you only cheat yourself.
You only cheat yourself? What do you mean by that?
It's not going to help you in the future.
It won't help you necessarily when you're... Hard work? What do you think about hard work? Is it the only way to achieve success? There's other ways. Yes, the only way. Only way. Okay. I don't know. I'm not big into hard work.
There's got to be another way.
Surely there's got to be another. Yeah.
I think the thing is, it's kind of what you do, because if you end up doing something you love or you've reached your goal, then it might be hard work, but it doesn't feel like hard work.
Yeah.
So say if you were stuck in a job that you didn't like, it would feel much more like hard work.
Right.
But I guess there's also the thing of
so if you're enjoying it, it's not actually hard work.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it can still feel hard work.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like, what does success look like? Because I also think you hear a lot about if you do want to have the 80 grand BMW, you want the big house, you want to be able to go on all these holidays, then you need a lot of money to do that. And so the more money you need, it feels like that. To me, that feels like that's a hard work. Well, I think as long as I've got enough money to cover what I need, but I'm doing something that I enjoy, I've ended up just thinking, well, this is enough. I don't need a flash car.
Yeah.
I'm driving a 60-year-old car that
60-year-old, so it's as old as Saj.
As old as Saj, yeah. But it doesn't cost a lot to run, but I still enjoy. And actually, I enjoy driving it more because you feel like you're driving, not like these new cars that drive themselves.
Okay, interesting stuff. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go with? Should we all be driving old cars? Then we can learn about mechanics and just drive a clunky thing. Should we be driving 60-year-old cars? Do we want to talk about I want to ask Amina about this hard work, because you were going on. You're the one who started all this with this studying malarkey. What do you think about this hard work question?
I don't think hard work necessarily means you have to do well in school. Hard work can be you doing hard work in anything, if it's charity work, if it's youth work, if it's there's so many different paths and careers. You don't have to go to university, you can get an apprenticeship, you can do whatever you want. Hard work just means putting your effort in and doing your all, and that's what you'll obviously they're still in high school, but you'll realize as you get older that everyone cheats in high school. We all cheated in high school, but once you get to college and you get to uni and stuff like that, you can't do that, and you have to put the effort in if you want to get somewhere.
Okay, but there is something to be said for working smarter, not harder. So we're talking. Yeah, grab the mic, Ash.
I think what Sarge referred to wasn't hard work as in bashing rocks and carrying 60 kilograms of coal on you. I think he was referring to effort. You got to put the effort in, whatever you do. If it's education, if it's football, if it's cricket, if it's robbing cars, whatever.
Yeah.
There's got to be some effort.
Yeah.
You're not going to go anywhere with effort. You've got to have effort. If you've got determination with it and a bit of talent helps. But he's on about putting effort in.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, me and Ashley started in different careers.
Yeah.
Ashley started. He was used to work in a factory, and so did I. And we started doing youth work, and we found that everybody else were earning a lot more money.
Yeah.
But we were really working really hard every evening in the youth centres.
Yeah.
So
when
what we had
else
to
had finished work.
absolutely. So what we then ended up doing was going back to university, which was really hard work.
Yeah.
So we had families to support.
Yeah.
And then we were travelling up to Lancaster to get qualified as a youth and community worker. And Ashley did something similar. And that was really hard work in the sense of doing assignments 10 years after you'd left school. So that was effort, and it was hard work in the sense that you're using your brain to achieve something that you really want to achieve. And it wasn't about, like you said, lifting things and, building roads or anything. It was about, pushing yourself. And it's hard sometimes to push yourself.
Right.
But that's what, gets you to where you want to get to. It's the effort.
Okay, so you're pushing yourself, but you sort of wanted to do it, and that made it a lot easier. Come into the front row, because my arm doesn't reach that far. We're talking about hard work. Does it make it easier if it's something you want to do? Is it about effort? Yeah, there's a point over here.
I mean, it's not all about hard work, because say that you like digging for gold and you don't know where to start and you start digging randomly.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to find gold, are you?
Yeah, so you need to know the geology.
You need to know what you're doing first, and then you need to start working.
Okay.
But,
I mean, so it's about finding that, in a way. Mash was talking about finding his thing, which was youth work. So actually, the first thing is to find what your thing is.
Yeah.
So do you know what your thing is, or are you still feeling around, searching around?
I don't want to say.
You don't want to say?
Yeah.
Why not? Is it illegal?
It's not illegal.
No. You just want to keep it under wraps.
I'm not sure about it. That's why.
Okay. I mean, let's just bring it back to Mash. If he's actually listening, Mash. When did you know that you wanted to do youth work? Because what's your name again?
Abdul.
Abdul is like, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. It's basically saying finding your thing is actually more important than working hard, because it's like there's no point just digging holes. You've got to know where the gold is.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a really good metaphor.
Well, me and Ashley weren't the best of. I wouldn't say best of.
I was a good lad. Oh, yeah.
What we did, we left school, and we didn't leave with like loads of GCSEs, and it was all about what job are we going to do. And I started off as a plasterer, ended up in engineering. Yeah. And when I started volunteering at a youth centre, I thought, this is really what I want to do. I want to work with young people.
Just
randomly fell into it, and then thought, when I'm working at the youth centre, these guys are getting a lot more money than me, and I'm doing just the same work. So I thought, well, why don't I go and get this certificate? Yeah. This piece of paper that says I can be on that wage. Yeah. And it was really more about that. So I fell into it basically. It wasn't like these guys are all year 9 now. They've just picked their options, and when you ask them, what do you want to do? None of them have an idea.
Yeah, but I mean, how old were you when you did this? When you?
I went back to university at 24.
Okay, so it's quite a long time to actually not know what you want to do and just try different things, isn't it? Exactly. It's a rewind situation. But what do other people think about this? Should actually school be much more about finding out what you want to do rather than learning stuff? Actually trying stuff. Should it be more about that, like trying different professions? You're saying yes, Ellen. Ellen, let's give Ellen a round of applause.
Thank you.
Oh, you killed it.
Hey, that's it. Yeah, because I think about all of the courses, all the subjects I enjoyed, and that was just me trying out stuff, and then that's where I found what I was interested in, and I realized that, maybe I'm not so interested in, I don't know, geography, to study, but I am interested in this other thing. So it should be more about that.
Into filmmaking. How old were you when you found that
how
out?
old was I? Probably when I was at university, but I suppose when I was at school, that's when I found out, I'm really interested in creativity through doing graphic design. And
so it was actually at school?
Yeah, at school, that's where I found out. So I'd incorporate it in each of my different subjects. I'd incorporate that creativity in there. So, but also I guess that comes from having encouraging teachers as well. I don't know, are the teachers encouraging enough for the young people today, I don't know.
I don't know. Where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about the way that school is structured, the way learning is structured? Do we want to talk about work, hard work? Do we want to talk about this idea of exploring stuff? Where do we want to go? This is up to you. Talkaoke is up to you. Does somebody want to have a go at doing this? Does someone want to try doing my job? What's that?
Do you want to jump in the middle?
Me?
Yeah. I thought you said that you would.
Okay, what was you going to say?
I said I don't mind.
You don't mind what? Having a go in the middle?
Yeah.
You're going to go in the middle? Okay, well let's what's your name again?
Sheriol.
What is it?
Sheriol.
I can't say. What is it? Serion. Sheriol. Okay, well let's give Sheriol a huge round of applause. Maybe start off by just asking people's names, and let's all those adults that are all talking amongst themselves. You've got to help this guy out now, so get around the table, help him out. In you jump. The way to do it, yeah, just climb over. Whoa, maybe yeah. I'll give you this. Okay, grab this mic to start off with. And let me just.
Okay, so.
What's that? Not really, no. There's a comedy one which is stick that in. Has it got a pocket there?
Yeah, I got a pocket here.
Okay.
What question should I ask?
Just say, ask everyone's name and then ask them what they want to talk about, and then go from there. So just. You don't have to do that much. Let's turn you up a little bit here. Right, so just get everyone's names to begin with.
What would you like to talk about?
What's my name?
Get everyone's names.
Okay, what's your name?
Gaff.
What?
Get it in a bit closer as well, yeah.
My name's Gaff.
What's your name?
Rehan.
What?
Rehan.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Abdul Rahman.
What was that?
Abdul Rahman.
It's yours.
What's your name? What was it?
You got you can we can hear you through there.
Yeah.
So that
What's your name?
Pass it around, innit?
Yeah, pass it to him.
give them the mic, give them the mic, let them pass it round.
Azan. What's your name?
Hamad. Shabir.
Elion.
Tawheed. Asad.
Abdus.
Husnain. Ulle.
Nurez.
What about someone?
What would you do about the youth today?
Okay.
Ask the back people.
Ask the back
people.
Send the mic around. Send the mic around. Send the mic around.
Let go of it.
They've probably forgotten from. I know you're too selfish for that.
My name's Paul.
My name's Daisy.
I'm Chris.
And you're Ash.
I'm Ash, you know, yeah. You call me Mohammed if you want.
Okay, Mohammed. What would you change today about the youth?
I'm not sure.
Can you explain further?
Try thinking.
What do you think about
What do you think of young people now?
What are the people that you don't like? What do you not like about your mates? What do you like about your mates?
The people I don't like.
The people that you don't like.
Have the mic. Should I don't have the mic? That's it.
Because it's another
Yes, that's it.
That's my fault. I've got to say, only spin round one way. But
Okay. Talk.
So really, you want to talk about how we would change young people? Is that what you're saying, Sharial?
Huh?
How would we change young people? Right, okay.
Well, some people think they're bad, wanna be gangsters. Some people are alright. Like Ebi Majid. I don't wanna say names though.
No, don't say
names. It's just in terms of what does they do? What is it they do then?
But he's a wannabe gangster as well. But I don't know. I'd wanna change that because they like fight a lot as well in school. They fight and they start wars and they make families not like each other. So yeah.
What do you think would happen if somebody carried a knife into school? What do you think?
Police should get involved in it. They should get police involved.
Should get the police involved, yeah? Should they stay in school?
No, they shouldn't. They should be kicked out.
Remember, this is your table, so you take control of the conversation. Yeah.
I think that there should be more interest for young people because nowadays there isn't many interest for them, so they don't really do many productive stuff.
I think the school education systems should be more advanced and better, because in school they don't teach us how to pay our taxes, they don't teach us how to go to interviews and how to communicate with other people, like
How do you think this would affect young people?
It would certainly help them when they're applying for jobs or universities and colleges, because right now in high school they don't really teach you much. All they teach you about is science, maths, English and the subjects that you're at. They don't teach you anything other than that.
First of all. The demon. What should I say?
Anything about how you want to change your people?
Do you think police should be involved in knife crimes, including young people?
Yeah, they should.
Why
People
should
should get searched more often.
Explain further.
Yeah.
No. So random person gets searched?
Yeah. No. The drug dealers.
The drug dealers?
Yeah.
What do you think
Explain how they look.
Drugs.
Morning, Paul there. What can we do about it?
You talking in that? We can just to make banners and that.
Make what? Sorry.
Banners. Or something like that, I'll make a video.
How do you think that would affect?
Yeah, and then people can see what to do and what not to do.
What do you think could affect the young people of Nelson and Garfield? What do you think you could do to make it a better place? No vaping.
How would you make Nelson a better place?
And Garfield, how would you make them two places a better place and the environment? So what would you do?
People need to stop throwing stuff on the floor and stuff.
Litter is one of the things as well.
So litter?
Yeah.
Well,
they need to stop like carrying stuff.
Okay, I'll grab the mic. Remember, this is your table, so take control. I'm just wondering, like, is anyone on TikTok? Maybe there needs to be like a TikTok page run by, everyone around this table, and then you can create videos that you feel will be good for other young people. Like, I don't know. You were saying to make a video about what did you say? You can make like a video about what to do and what not to do in terms of living in Nelson or. So yeah, maybe a TikTok page. Is there a TikTok page for Nelson? Maybe you need to create one. Maybe the young people around the table need to be given some funding to create a TikTok page, I don't know.
Shabia. Hello, how are you?
So for young people, they should do more practical work and outside work to live like how the outside life. It should be more practical overall.
Do you agree with this TikTok suggestion?
Yeah, why not?
Who else except from TikTok do you think we could?
There should be Twitter, Facebook, all the social medias.
All the social media?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think people should stop selling shisha pens to help the people stop smoking.
Okay, why do you think shisha pens are cool for young people?
They're not cool.
But if they are, why do you think people would want them? Like, why do you think young people would like to buy them?
Because their friends do it, so.
So peer pressure?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Same thing. People should stop selling vapes to little kids.
And why do you think people buy them?
Talked out.
Talked out in front of who?
Their friends.
Peer pressure yet again.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
People should stop selling cigarettes to kids.
I think the TikTok page sounds a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I think the TikTok page sounds like a brilliant idea as well.
What would you post on the TikTok page if you did do one? What would you post for young people to know?
They should make advertisements to promote awareness on youth crime.
Okay.
I think like parents and adults should give kids a bit more like responsibility and independence so that they can like find themselves in what they want to do.
I got one more question. What do you think school could do to improve how young people act? So what do you think they could do instead of what they're doing right now? So what would you say that could improve the school? If you could change it, what would you say to them? What would you do? Kev?
Exams are making it stressful for people at the same time as well, and teachers put pressure on people, revise this, that. Be like, they say loads of homework and.
So you think pressure is because is you like pressure is causing this?
Stress from exams and stuff, yeah.
Okay, real.
I think with the
that's it. Yeah.
I think with the exam with the exam there should be a more organized with the exam there should be more organized and like not as random as they are.
Abdul.
I think with these, I think with these exams and things, all that I've learnt about exams is what you write on a piece of paper for 40 or 50 minutes is more important than what you've done throughout the whole entire year.
Do you think writing on a piece of paper is better than writing, using technology? So do you think online websites are better than writing?
Some people are very good in tests. Like some people, they can get all the memory of what they've done and write it in a paper in an hour. But some people, they do things slowly throughout the whole entire year, and that's how they build on their things.
Okay, thank you. Pass here. Gav, you said you wanted to add something.
If you use technology and online websites, you can cheat easily by using Google. So it's better on paper, pen and paper.
Thank you for your opinion. Mustafa, give it to me.
Exams are stressful for people.
In school, they should trust people and not search them every day, because then they be more paranoid about that.
Do you think they're wrong for searching them?
No, the knives.
Oh, nice. What if they have metal detectors at the gates? Do you think?
Yeah,
that would work.
Yeah, that would work.
People are carrying knives and hammers.
Do you think we've got a big problem with carrying knives?
Yeah, knives and stuff.
Knives? Machetes, mash. Big knives.
Hamad.
Little knives.
I think they should make stuff like more fun because kids, they don't care about their education anymore.
So you think they should make stuff more fun for kids?
Yeah, because kids don't really care about education and stuff like that. They just do whatever. Yeah.
Okay, Shabir.
Yes. So they should make examinations more fun. For example, how to learn it, they could do it online, like online resources.
So you agree with online websites? Please?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think they should make tests more easy for.
Then you'd pass them, wouldn't you? Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Are you not sure what to say? We'll get back to you later.
What do you guys think of continuous assessment?
I agree with Alian.
You agree with Alian? Ashay?
No, I'm trying to compare the end of year exam, or would you rather be assessed throughout the year?
Yeah.
What's better? What would be better?
So you get assessed throughout the year?
I think I disagree with the thing about the test. I think it's actually be more difficult, but it should be, instead of it being about knowing the right answers, which is just a glorified version of a pub quiz. It's like who's ever's best at the pub quiz is best at the exams. It should be a challenge. They should be setting you a challenge which is hard to do and that no one has ever done before. That's what school should be about, in my opinion. So, for example, we talked earlier on about building cars. The challenge should be build your own car. It shouldn't be about answering questions. Or it could be about fixing the roads. Someone else was talking about fixing the roads. Or someone else was talking about doing up the building. Actually getting out there and do up the building. That's the way I think to learn. And set a challenge. And the sound effects I want for that is second row, fourth one along.
The potholes was to save the BMWs from getting damaged at night.
I have another question for you guys. What do you think and how do you think older family members, older people influence on younger people? So how do they impact and affect their lives? Gav?
Repeat the question, please.
Take the mic, please.
Repeat the question.
The question is, how do you think elder people, like elder family members, impact the lives of younger people or younger family members? So how do you think your older siblings or cousins impact your life?
My older brother tells me what to do in school and stuff and what not to do and how to act good. I or me working in a factory, and actually only a little ticket. Also, I don't know, mom and dad tell me to work hard, as the other guy said. I forgot.
So, because like you look up to your older family members, if they haven't matured and like they're still doing the silly thing that they did as kids do, you're just gonna copy onto them.
So role model.
Yeah, about role models and stuff.
I think family members have a huge impact on your behavior and what you do when you get older, because it's what family members. When you're a child, you look at your family members and you look up to them, and then if they start doing anything that's wrong and not good, you're gonna start copying them. But if they start doing things that are good, and if they teach you good manners, how to be well behaved, how to work hard, how to not cheat with people, you will be a very successful person in life. And it's all throughout the actions with the people that you stay around with.
So you think if you hung around with good people and you saw behavior of people acting nice and generous towards others, it would impact you as well. So it would
Yes,
change your behavior.
it would not only impact you, but impact everyone around you.
Thank you. Mustafa. Same as him. You agree with him? Okay. Azan.
What was the question?
Question was. Yeah.
They can be like act like little kids and then join gangs and all that, and then you want to join them, follow in their footsteps.
So really, whatever they do, you.
Yeah.
I agree with Abdul, because like your family members are like your role models, and if they do bad stuff, obviously you're gonna copy them.
Okay, thank you. Shabir.
So family members are like leaders, and you shall follow them and shall obey them at all times.
Leon.
Yeah, what Shabir said.
So you.
I agree with Shabir.
Hassan.
What's the question?
Ali.
What's the question?
How does your dad influence you?
How does older people or older family members' behavior affect you? It doesn't. Okay. Nice.
I think like we were talking with Sajwi here before, and me and Ashi said because of him, he used to coach us football when we were little kids, and because he was such a cool fella, we wanted to be like him. And I think everything that he did with us, we wanted to copy that. And I think it's not just family members. I think it's people out there who you look up to as your role models.
So why would you look up to him as a role model? What do you find cool about them? What do you want to be?
I think with Sarge being a good footballer, me and Ashi wanted to be really good footballers as well. And we wanted to learn as much as we could, because we used to watch him playing and we used to think, I wish I could play like that on a football pitch. And that was really what drove us to, work hard at football.
Could I ask one of you guys in the back? Chris, was it? Chris, what do you think about this?
About
the
looking up
impact
to
on
people.
young people's lives.
Yeah, sure. So when I was younger, probably around your kind of age, like 13, 14, I started going to these youth group event things, and we'd have different speakers come along and they'd talk about what they did in their lives. And a lot of the time there were people who were trying to change the world in some way, people who were involved in anti-racism campaigning, social justice movements, that kind of stuff. And we had people come along and talk about trying to, break onto submarines and stop nuclear weapons being used and things like that. And had people come and had a guy come and talk who'd been, wrongly detained in prison. And
so racism.
Well, yeah, that was definitely a case of racial profiling, but it was amazing getting to hear these people talk about things that they cared about and what they were doing in the world to change something, and that's had a big impact on my life. Yeah.
Thank you. Abdus.
Would you like to know how to break into a submarine?
What's the question?
The question was, how do you think young people's lives are impacted by the older people?
If you're surrounded by your older siblings or parents or family members, you're gonna look up to them because they have that like authority over you from a young age. So you start to listen to them, do what they do, because then you think it's right automatically.
Okay, thank you. Who have I not asked? Abdus, I haven't asked you. I've asked him, you never answered.
Your family impacts.
Keep looking around.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
I think our family impacts on what we do because we look up to what they do.
Abdul, you had a suggestion before, what was it?
My suggestion was that your family members should act differently around you from what they be doing, because you might never know what they do in real life, and they should be a good role model to you, and they should teach you how to do good things. Although they might be doing bad things, at least you could do good.
Shall I ask one more question?
Yeah, I mean, so I think you're doing a really good job in the middle. Let's have another round of applause. Was it Sheriol? Sheriol.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff you're doing. Are you alright there? Shall I jump back in the middle, or does someone else want to have a go?
No, it's kind of I don't mind.
You're doing are you happy in the middle there? It's up to you, really.
I really don't mind. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, Abdul's made a lot of good points, I think, so maybe you should have a go in the middle.
Abdul, do you want to have a go?
Although, you just climb over. If I can do it, you can do it. But
I suggest you don't go in, there's a bit.
Remember, in the middle, it's more about asking questions. Unless you want to get some final thoughts for your session, Sheriel, before we put Abdul in the middle. I don't know. Do you want to get some final thoughts for what people have been saying so far? It's going to do it. It's going to do it. Oh no, he's running away. You going to come in? Okay, a bit of a prep. So let's get some final thoughts for your session, and then we'll move on to the next person. So just get a free-form final thought. Well, maybe you can ask people what's the most important thing that's been said so far, and people don't go until you've said your final thought.
So, what do you think is the most important thing that I've said so far? What do you think is the biggest and best impact that's happened? Kev?
Work hard.
Okay. Rayan?
That it's not just young people that are making the crime rate higher, it's also the older generation.
Okay, I agree with that. There is. Abdul, that's Abdul.
What are we finishing?
There is.
That older people can influence younger people and how they act.
I think that the youth should stick to the most generic stuff and not try to be different in the sense of misbehaving.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's alright.
Who else have I asked? Oh, right. Elam, was it?
Elam, yeah.
Elam.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
You know, my thought is that, unlike before, you know, the man who was here talking about when, you know, he was younger, you know, the one that liked punk music, earlier, you know, I think now the younger people, teenagers, have more opportunity to kind of take control of the image and demand more. And I think you have more power to kind of like talk to people your own age than before. Like, for example, now you're in the middle of this table, so you can actually find out what, you know, your friends want and need, and you can sort of communicate that in a better way to the sort of youth leaders and stuff. So it seems like there's money available for you to actually make changes in the area, and there's opportunity, even through things like TikTok. Honestly, I think you should just take more control of.
There's £25 million coming into this.
Hey, how and you know what?
5 million.
And 25, and you know how the councillors were around the table. You can demand from them what you want and what you need. Demand from them what you want and need. Don't let them come here and sort of tell you what you should get and what the issues are. You demand what you need from them.
So have courage.
Yeah, have courage and the confidence to do that. So, and it looks like you've got courage and confidence in the middle of this table. Anyway, I could keep talking. So, yeah, I'll pass on. Yeah, you pass it on to whoever you want to next.
Shabir, do you have any thoughts?
Not really, no.
Not really.
I think we can get a final thought from anyone, and it should be about what's been the best thing that's been said or not been said as well, if it's been missed out. For me, personally, I think I would sort of disagree with you. I don't think it's about not being different. I think it's about being different, but in a more creative way. Like finding your own path and actually doing your own thing. We had a guy earlier on when we were setting up who started up his own gift shop and is like laser engraving everything. And I think that's a really good, it's a good business plan, and it's very unique and individual. And actually, everyone's got to do their own thing, I think, rather than just go following everyone else. Their own ideas, exactly.
Thank you for that. Is there anything else that you guys think I missed? Mash, here.
I think you've done a fantastic job. I think you've been really, really confident in everything. And I think everything's a learning process, isn't it? Whatever you do, you learn something from it. And I think the only thing I'd like people to take away from that, and myself as well, is to evaluate things that I've done, and what I've done well, what I could have done better, and how I would do it next time. So just that, but it's been brilliant.
Thank you, thanks. Have we done yet?
Well, I don't know. Anyone else want a final thought?
It's your time, it's your table, your show.
Anyone else to jump in the middle?
He's hungry.
Drop the mic. That's it. I think that's it. I think we've come to an end. I don't think we're going to get Abdul in the table without feeding him first. So they say in Turkey, a hungry bear doesn't dance. So we're going to leave it there, I think. But a fantastic job in the middle, fantastic thoughts, and thanks to Elam earlier on, and thanks to everyone.
And big up the young ones.
Big up the young ones. Yeah. You're all younger than me. Okay, so some great thoughts, Well done, everybody. Great stuff in the middle. I thought the questions were really good because it was very much about finding out what other people wanted to say rather than your opinion, and that's fantastic. I thought you did a really good job. So good stuff.